What's up, guys? Today we're back in the kitchen with more comfort food. I'm going to be showing you how to make this delicious shrimp and sausage jambalaya, and we're pulling out all the stops by topping it with a delicious aioli and fried chicken. Meet me in the kitchen. Let's make it happen.
Taste test all to myself. You got everything you wanted here. That's good, baby.
So, for those of you guys that don't know, I'm in the process of opening my very first restaurant in Washington, D.C., and I've been playing with a few different menu items and ideas, plating techniques, things of that nature. And this happens to be one of the items that I am potentially going to add to the menu. Some sort of jambalaya. I'm thinking about topping it with fried chicken. We'll see how it turns out. I've been testing this for a little while now. We got some chicken thighs here, boneless, skinless, cleaned up. We're going to leave the fat on there for additional flavor, but you can trim it off if you want to. About a tablespoon of your favorite hot sauce is going in. Then we're also going to hit it with a little bit of my all-purpose seasoning or just some salt and pepper. The seasoned flour has tons of seasoning in it already, so no need to go crazy on the seasoning. We do want to get a little bit in there along with that hot sauce, and then we're going to go ahead and soak this in some buttermilk as well. You want to go ahead and marinate this for 1 to 24 hours, depending on how much time you have on your hands. I wouldn't go much longer than 24 hours because the acid profile in the buttermilk tenderizes the meat, which kind of breaks down the muscle fibers. Anything over 24 hours, it kind of messes with the texture, makes it a little too soft for my personal preference. So I'll say 1 hour minimum, 24 hours max on your marinade. Next up, my friends, it's time to prep our veggies, and that is comprised of what's called the Holy Trinity or the Cajun Trinity, which is a blend of onion, bell pepper, and celery. We're also adding some green onion and a little jalapeno, just to add a little spice to the party. Totally optional. If you don't want it spicy at all, feel free to leave the jalapeno out. We're going to go ahead and dice our onion up, leave the root intact. You guys have seen me do this a million times, but one more time won't hurt. Always protect your fingers at all times. And just dice your onion up. We do the same thing with the bell pepper, the celery, the jalapeno, and the green onion. Next up, we have some andouille sausage we grabbed from the grocery store. This is a smoked pork sausage, very common in Cajun and Creole recipes. It's got some smokiness, a little spice, nice and savory flavor profile. I like to cut mine into little cubes like this. As you can see, a lot of people cut theirs into medallions, but I just don't feel like it really fits the dish that well. Like, it doesn't fit on the fork that great. It's not the best eating experience like that. So for me, I like smaller pieces. So that's how we're going to prep it, but feel free to do whatever you're used to. If you like the medallions, then by all means stick with that. But if you want to give this a try, I think it looks a little bit better presentation-wise, and it makes more sense on the fork. For the pork patrol out there, feel free to use chicken or turkey or beef sausage, whatever you can find at your local store. Doesn't have to be pork. It'll still be delicious. And this episode is sponsored by DoorDash. Listen, DoorDash is something I literally use 5, maybe 6 times a week. Isn't it amazing that we live in a world where you can get anything you need when you need it right to your door? DoorDash is your door to more. If you want it, DoorDash can deliver it. When we're filming recipes, oftentimes my cameraman who's in charge of getting the groceries will forget a thing or two. And what do? We go to DoorDash to get that delivered immediately so we can finish shooting our recipe content. Also, when I'm traveling, a lot of times I'll land from the airport, get in the rental car, realize I didn't pack a toothbrush, toothpaste, socks, sweatpants, you name it. By the time I land and get to the hotel, my delivery is sitting there on the counter waiting for me right at the hotel room. DoorDash isn't just a door to flowers, groceries, produce. It's your door to better relationships, time back with loved ones, never missing a minute of the game, trying the best slices in the tri-state area, whatever it is that you need, especially for a life like mine that's pretty hectic. I forget things all the time at the grocery store. DoorDash always saves me in those moments. As you guys can probably tell, I'm a huge fan of DoorDash, and I think you'll like it too. If you haven't tried it yet, DoorDash is your door to more. Download the DoorDash app now to get almost anything delivered, and using the code MAKEITHAPPEN50, you get 50% off up to $10 on your first order of $15 or more. Now, my friends, it's time to get to cooking. We're going to heat our skillet over medium-high. Add some oil to the pot or skillet, about a tablespoon or 2. We're going to slowly render the fat out of that andouille sausage and remove that with a slotted spoon. Cook the shrimp in that sausage fat, remove that, and then get our trinity in there and start on our jambalaya. All right, so once the sausage is browned up nicely, we're going to take a slotted spoon and remove that. We want to save all that flavor in the pot for our shrimp and our rice. No flavor left behind. So slotted spoon removes the sausage, leave behind all the good stuff. We're going to kill the heat so we don't scorch our shrimp. Let the pan cool off just a little bit. And then in goes about 1 pound of large blue shrimp that we got from Wegmans. These are needle deveined, guys, for the deveined police out there. These are fully cleaned and deveined. We're gonna keep the seasoning simple on the shrimp, a little hot AP, a little lemon bay, and then we got all the flavor in there from the sausage. Listen, to cook these about 75% of the way. They'll finish cooking when we add them back to the rice. We just wanna get some flavor building in the bottom of the pan and start the cooking process for our shrimp. Just gonna add a touch more avocado oil or olive oil. Then we're gonna get those veggies in there and start to tenderize those. You wanna give them a head start before you add your garlic. Your house is gonna be smelling absolutely amazing here in a second. This is a great one-pot dish that comes together pretty quickly and inexpensively for the most part, depending on what kind of seafood you wanna add to your jambalaya. Chicken thighs are historically pretty cheap. You'd also get some chicken leg quarters and plate this up like that. The andouille sausage you can buy in bulk on sale a lot of the times. Shrimp, obviously, pretty reasonably priced these days. And if you stick with those ingredients, you're going to be in good shape. So we're going to go ahead and sweat these vegetables down for about 10 minutes. Get them nice and soft. Add in the garlic, the tomato paste. Toast our parboiled rice. And then get our chicken broth in there with some seasoning. So you're going to have jambalaya in a matter of minutes. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and begin seasoning this up. I got my AP seasoning going in. If you don't have this, you can use salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, things of that nature. A good tablespoon of paprika. You can do half a tablespoon of regular, half a tablespoon of smoked. The smokiness is gonna play nicely with the andouille sausage. Also gonna add some great color. Next, we're going in with our oregano. You can use dried thyme in here too if you want to get some more herb flavor in there. A little Cajun seasoning or my lemon bay. Good to the last drop. And last but not least, a little chicken bouillon powder. That's going to be a flavor enhancer for us. And our chicken broth is low sodium, so this is going to help make sure that we're not short on seasoning. Next up, we're going in with 1 tablespoon of garlic and then a 1/4 cup of tomato paste. You're gonna squeeze this like a toothpaste from the bottom. Give all that a good mix. Kind of toast that tomato paste a little bit. To get some nice color going. And then we're gonna add 2 cups of our rice. You want to add that early so that can have time to kind of wake up a little bit. It's going to open up, puff up a little bit, start to absorb those flavors and toast the rice. You want to do this for about 2 or 3 minutes before you add your liquid. Just give everything a good mix. Make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom or to the sides. We don't want anything to burn in here. Next up, we're going with about a good teaspoon or 2 of Worst Word in the World sauce. It's going to add a little umami to the party. And then a teaspoon of your favorite hot sauce. Optional. It's going to add a little bit of heat. Jambalaya should have a little spice to it, in my opinion. And then 4 cups of chicken broth. Get the chicken broth in there. Give everything a good mix. We're going to bring it up to a simmer. Then reduce the heat to low. Cover it. 20-25 minutes. Once the rice is fully cooked, you got jambalaya. Towards the last 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to add back the shrimp and the sausage. All right, guys, next up, we're going to make a real quick sauce. For that, we need a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, a 1/4 cup of your favorite barbecue sauce, a teaspoon or so of your favorite Cajun seasoning, a good teaspoon of garlic paste or fresh garlic, whatever you like. I like the garlic paste for sauces because I can add it to the squirt bottle. We're also going to add a few dashes of hot sauce and about a teaspoon or so of lemon juice. As always, guys, taste as you go. Adjust the flavor to your preference. This is just a real quick and simple sauce. It's going to pair nicely with what we got going on today with the fried chicken and the jambalaya. Break out the whisk and mix to combine. So make sure we get all of this sauce out of here. Don't need to let that go to waste, right? Give that a mix. Then we're going to add it to a squirt bottle, and this will be what we drizzle on top for our final presentation. All right, people, now it's time to fry our chicken. Today we're using 2 cups of my all-purpose seasoned flour. If you haven't tried that yet, you can get it at mrmakeithappen.com, or just use regular all-purpose flour and season it to your preference. We're also going to add 1 cup of cornstarch to the party, just to give it a little bit extra crispiness. There we go. Now remember, guys, if you like recipes like this one, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell also so you don't miss anything in the future. We're going to go ahead and take this chicken out of the buttermilk brine, knock off the excess buttermilk, and get it into this seasoned flour. And then get our oil up to 350 degrees and fry this chicken until it's golden brown and beautiful. All right, guys, so once the oil gets up to about 350 degrees, we're going to gently place our chicken thighs on in there. Don't overcrowd your fryer. We're just going to go 2 at a time here today because these are relatively large thighs. And we're just going to fry them up 8, 9, maybe 10 minutes depending on the size of the thighs. You want it to register 165 degrees internal temperature. That'll indicate that it's done, at which point we're going to place it on this wire rack to let it drain, finish our jambalaya, and plate this up. All right, my friends, let me know what you think in the comments about this plating and this recipe. Let me know what you want to see next. This is my favorite part of the job, where I get to dig in for the taste test after 400 thumbnail pictures. But before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. I didn't say they're looking good shit, but got my knife, got my fork. I'm gonna cut us a little piece here of chicken. Here we go. Damn. Wow. That's good. Shit. And this episode is sponsored by DoorDash. Listen, DoorDash is something I literally use 5, maybe 6 times a week. Isn't it amazing that we live in a world where you can get anything you need when you need it right to your door? DoorDash is your door to more. If you want it, DoorDash can deliver it. When we're filming recipes, oftentimes my cameraman who's in charge of getting the groceries will forget a thing or two. And what do? We go to DoorDash to get that delivered immediately so we can finish shooting our recipe content. Also, when I'm traveling, a lot of times I'll land from the airport, get in the rental car, realize I didn't pack a toothbrush, toothpaste, socks, sweatpants, you name it. By the time I land and get to the hotel, my delivery is sitting there on the counter waiting for me right at the hotel room. DoorDash isn't just a door to flowers, groceries, produce. It's your door to better relationships, time back with loved ones, never missing a minute of the game, trying the best slices in the tri-state area, whatever it is that you need, especially for a life like mine that's pretty hectic. I forget things all the time at the grocery store. DoorDash always saves me in those moments. As you guys can probably tell, I'm a huge fan of DoorDash, and I think you'll like it too. If you haven't tried it yet, DoorDash is your door to more. Download the DoorDash app now to get almost anything delivered, and using the code MAKEITHAPPEN50, you get 50% off up to $10 on your first order of $15 or more.